Welcome back to Ty Sports Picks 24. Happy Monday to everybody. I hope you enjoyed the Olympics yesterday. Let's get started with the show. We're gonna come off top with the picks. I know that's what a lot of you guys are here for. We got the Kansas City Royals in the MLB money line. We got the Milwaukee Brewers money line. And then this kind of risky is on the plus side. If you want to add it, you can take the other two, or you can add this third one. The New York Yankees on the road, even though they're plus instead of minus, we're gonna take them money line. Now, as you know, this is an independent show until we get monetized. So, if you like the support, I'd appreciate it. You can go to the Cash App. It's gonna be $TY Rebel 22 because I'm an Ole Miss Rebel alumni. So TY Rebel 22, or you can scan the Cash App if you put your phone to the screen. Okay, I deeply appreciate that. We're gonna touch on a lot of topics. I try to stay neutral, but this is the professional, unprofessional podcast. A lot of people are speaking up on Jerry Jones and his players that are disgruntled, wanting their money. Michael Parsons has 2 years on his deal, so he's gonna have to wait. I even heard this morning that he's doing just like how I said. I predicted with the new defensive coordinator and them being kind of short on numbers. Moving back to that linebacker / edge rusher role, losing 10 pounds because he wants to be maximized and the defensive coordinator wants him to be maximized. I think he really moved to 100% edge rusher because it was for financial reasons. But again, my philosophy is you got to be a team guy, 50-50. A lot of people want these big contracts, but can you deliver? And it's showing based on last year, even though he had higher sack numbers, the tackles are dropping, and also the defense is being hurt. Unpredictability of Michael Parsons. You don't know when he's going to rush. You don't know when he's going to drop. You don't know when he's going to stop the run. Like a Lawrence Taylor and a Von Miller is a lot more effective than a full-time pass rusher because Von Miller isn't that big, and he seems like he may be a little bit smaller than Von Miller. I'm not really certain. Kind of different body types, but Von seems a little bit heavier. But a lot of people were speaking on the Jerry Jones situation with CeeDee Lamb, comparing him to Jordan Jefferson. Slow down, CeeDee. Sorry, you gotta do a little bit more. Jordan Jefferson is a bad boy, and he doesn't have a Dak at quarterback. Though you did have Kirk Cousins, but he was hurt last year. Then we look at Dak, the man of the hour. They're comparing Dak to Jordan Love, and Jerry Jones made a disparaging kind of like slick comment saying, we saw them head to head, and Jordan Love basically earned that $55 million. We're gonna see Dak earn his money this year. Now we saw them a couple years ago. Dak went through the contract thing, and I think it's kind of bad for business. They try to go with the high money, small years. They doing 3-year, 4-year contracts, and every other year we're going through this confusion, not knowing who's gonna be on the team, who's not. I think they may need to go back to maybe lower paying deals, longer term deals, fully guaranteed deals since it's so much more money, and just let that higher number maybe be like an incentive if you're still on the roster, or if you play X amount of games, if you win X amount of games, make that an incentive. Like, let's hypothetically speak, let's say you get a 5-year, $100 million contract. 5 years isn't that long, but it's better than the 3 and the 4 year. But it's fully guaranteed. $100 million fully guaranteed because they're throwing away 200 and near 300. So if I guarantee you $100 million, but depending on if you're here 3 years, 4 years, it can go up to 250 or go up to the 300. That way you're not leaving with nothing, but at least we don't have to worry about every single year who's my quarterback, who's my wide receiver, who's my this and that. Because a lot of people saying, oh, this is the market. Well, there's something called collective bargaining agreements. It's not, oh, this is the market. It's what we agree on. They always talk about supply and demand. Nothing is worth more than what somebody agrees to pay on it. So a lot of people just follow the template. This is how it's always been. That's a lie. Up until the early 90s, free agency was only, what's the word? It'll come back to me. But basically, free agents used to have to give their team the right of way to match the deal before they can go. Now You have unrestricted free agents. It used to be only restricted free agents back in the 70s and the 80s. So collective bargaining agreement is like any other business. It's not set in stone. This isn't the 10 Commandments. It can change, and it needs to change based on the circumstance because it's not working. You know, every other year we got a lot of dysfunctional franchises that are signing guys on high money deals, short-term deals, low guarantee deals, and now people crying about their money. They don't want to get franchised. Let's just eliminate this problem. It's too much confusion, and you don't win, and you don't have organizations winning and thriving when it's confusion, when players aren't holding out the camp, and then when they show up week 2, they're dropping the ball, or it's bad timing. We saw the Club Shay Shay interview with the Devontae Adams talking about different quarterbacks versus Aaron Rodgers, and him not knowing if the ball's going to be there on time, and him possibly getting concussion or getting hit because he's not on the same page. It's hard to be on the same page, CeeDee Lamb or anybody else. Not calling him out because I'm for you to get your money, but it's more with the organization, with the CBA, the players association. We have to get this nipped in the bud. I gave a great example: $100 million, fully guaranteed 5 years, up to $250 or whatever you want the number to be. But because these deals aren't guaranteed anyway, I think we need to focus more on the guaranteed money and the guaranteed years, and everything else. Let's say you get X amount if you're still here in 3 years, X amount in 4 years, X amount in 5 years. You know what I mean? That way it's less confusion. It's too much confusion for the fans, for the organizations, and for the people that actually have to play and coach. Like even with the Miami Dolphins, you saw a sigh of relief by Mike McDaniel seeing that Tua's deal is done, and everybody's complaining about, oh, he's not worth $53 million in a year. Well, you know, he didn't win in the playoffs. He's only played in one playoff game, though. Let's keep that in mind because they missed the playoffs, even though they had like a 10-7 record 3 years ago. Then they went to the playoffs, but his backup Skylar Thompson played because Tua was hurt, and then Tua played and lost in his first playoff game, which is in the freezing cold at Kansas City. That's not an ideal first playoff game, but hey, no excuses. You know, you got $53 million, but you do need to leave something on the table for the offensive line. But I'm done with that note. Now let's get to some basketball. USA versus Serbia. Some people thought it was a blowout, but if you actually watched the game, it was very close. Serbia actually led early in the game. So a lot of people were complaining that Jason Tatum had to sit down. But like a lot of pundits were speaking and saying in the sports world, the U.S. is not, this isn't your father and mother's U.S. Basketball team. When the NBA decided to go international and invest in other countries, they never thought about the fact that these other countries would have their players come and play for them in the Olympics, and they would be trying to take America down. That's why I'm very pro-America. I'm American, you know, proudly. I know we have a lot of things going on, you know, with civil justice and everything in the country, you know, but we must stay united in times like this, even in the Olympics, because it shows solidarity in your country. You don't want to look weak as a superpower. And this is our game. Basketball, football, baseball, these are American games, you know. It's important that we win. And even on the women's side, Caitlin Clark not being on the team, I'm not saying that she's the best player in the world, but she's, you know, the female Steph Curry. You know, she could have came off the bench, but, you know, they say a lot of veteran women kind of were taken aback by her, you know, just coming into the league, her and Angel Reese, but Angel was kind of like quiet about it, you know. And they just feel like the two little princesses, you're not going to come and just take what we work hard for. But I think just like the men's team with the Jason Tatum thing, this is not the time. We got to focus because not as much on the women's side, even though women are very competitive and they're very coachable, the basketball game on the women's side is a lot more fundamentals and shooting and different things. It's not as athletic as the men. Not saying that women aren't athletes, but you got to work teamwork in today's age in the Olympic basketball and international basketball, because basketball is an international game similar to baseball. You know, you look at the MLB, you see a lot of foreign players. In NBA, some of the top 10 players, I think vast majority of them are not American-born players, and that goes down to the AAU program too. A lot of coaches aren't coaching; they're just getting the most athletic kids. We got to get back to fundamental basketball. A lot of people might get mad, but since they have NIL, I think they may need to require 2 years of college instead of 1. That make sure guys are getting developed a little bit more, because it's producing a sloppy product, an athletic product, but a sloppy product. You know. If basketball and the biggest resources are in America, then you can have great international players, the Giannis and, you know, the SGAs. You know, Canada I don't really consider international because they're our brothers or our cousins over there. they're similar to the U.S. They got access to a lot of stuff that we have. But I feel like we don't want to lose our game. And speaking of SGA, Canada and Greece, they went at it. I actually watched that one. That was a real dog fight. Canada and Greece. I'm sorry. Just trying to find a score for you guys. This is the professional, unprofessional. Okay, yeah. It was 86-79. And actually, when they were bringing the ball down the court, SGA tried to steal it from a Greece player, and they didn't like it. A guy bumped him. Giannis had to kind of break it up. He's kind of the biggest guy coming from Greece. Those goons for Canada, they kind of they looked like they wanted to squabble, but they realized they were at the Olympics and you're in France. There's no time for that, But a lot of people are speaking up on this being an America versus Serbia thing, which America handled their business versus Serbia, But Canada and Greece with Giannis, Canada with SGA. It's a lot of these countries, man. They're tired of the Americans. They're tired of us feeling like we could just waltz in and just win. America won 110-84 against Serbia. But like I said, if you actually watch the game, that's why Jason Tatum had to sit. That it was more about matchups because they had a lot of big guys down low, and they can shoot because they're international. They used to playing the European game, but also they had those guards on the outside. They didn't really have wing players, so that's why they kind of held Jason Tatum out. Some people said, "Well, okay, you won 110-84. You could have put him out in mop up time." But the thing about it is, they were shooting threes. That 110 was deceptive because. If they would have made it an athletic game, I don't know if you can win that game going inside, messing with somebody like Joker. We've seen in the NBA. And also, I feel like it's personal because of the statements Joker made after Denver won the championship 2 years ago or a year ago when he was like, "Oh, I can't wait to get back to my country." He didn't really want to participate in the Denver Nuggets parade. Some of it probably was just, an act, trying to, show up for his country and just, marketing, make himself the bad guy. I think he markets himself as a bad guy, the Joker. I want to see what he does with Westbrook this year, by the way. But America, we got to wake up. We got to be focused on the men's and the women's side, man. Too much infighting. Let's stay focused. Let's take home the gold, not the bronze, not the silver. We didn't send you over there for that. But I will say, comparing this team to the Dream Team, there's a lot of big names, a lot of talent. This is not the Dream Team, but the Dream Team didn't face this competition either. I think this gold medal will matter just as much, if not more, than the Dream Team because the Dream Team may be in a better team, but they were coming from fundamental team basketball. That was self-explanatory back then, even though Jordan had Isaiah Thomas off the team, which I don't agree with. But it's crazy because isn't that the Jaylen Brown thing going on this year? For other reasons, we're not putting our best players on the team. We gotta get out of the politics, America, when it comes to winning the gold. But let's get on some other things. KD, Kevin Durant, he had a great showing. Comes off the bench, scores 21 points in the first half, man. So it seems like the ankle's all right. The whole body's all right. He's fragile. Just protect this guy and make sure, he does well. I also did a Chicago Bears preview. It's in the shorts. I'm going to give you the short version. I got them going 10-7. Think about it. Last year, C.J. Stroud took a Texans team to the playoffs. They had a defensive-minded coach, and they had some pieces on defense. A lot of people speaking down on the Bears defense, but I think that cold weather, when you have to come to them, is going to help them in November, even though they play in a division with similar teams. And I think, other than him being a head case sometimes, Caleb Williams is probably even better than C.J. Stroud. Maybe not better overall, but just as far as ball placement, the arm, he has that Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, Kyler Murray type of like laser beam. Just drop it in there. He comes from Lincoln Riley's tree. So with Keenan Allen, with a nice running game, I believe they have DJ Chark still on the outside. Chicago has a lot of weapons for him, And then Arome Oduzier. Chicago Bears, I feel like they could be a surprise team. I don't know if 10 wins will get them in the playoffs. It may get them in the wild card. But I don't have them going far in the playoffs, but that's progress, So shout out to the Bears. I got some friends out of Chicago, Yeah, you guys, I won't be cracking any jokes this year. You guys you're gonna win. What else do I want to touch on? That's pretty much it. Also on the Hard Rock app, they have America, I think -700 to win the Olympics. Some of the other top teams, like I said, were Canada, Serbia's up there. So I don't know if you want to go against the grain and bet, but if you want to place your bets on the Hard Rock app about who's gonna win in the Olympics, go ahead. But that's my picks for the day. That's my show for the day. I hope you guys enjoyed it. See you tomorrow.